welcome to a brand new episode of the UFO Show. In this installment, we prepare to look further into space than ever before. We hear a strange account of UAPs and shadow men at an Air Force base, and we meet a woman who claims she can introduce you to your far-out alien family. Let's get to it. Our first story doesn't involve UAPs or extraterrestrials per se, but it's likely to be a major step forward in our ever-growing fascination with the possibility of life beyond the stars. On Christmas Day, 2021, NASA launched the James Webb Telescope, the most ambitious and advanced device of its kind. Having reached its destination of approximately 1 million miles away from Earth on January 24, 2022, the telescope settled into its orbit and began the long process of powering up all of its instruments, which include 18 primary mirror instruments that will work together as a single mirror surface. After that, the telescope will begin taking pictures, with the first target being a star called HD 84406. That said, the people of Earth won't start seeing images until probably the summer of 2022. So what does all this mean for us? Simply put, thanks to this super telescope, scientists will commence the process of learning more about our solar system than ever before. As NASA's official site puts it, scientists will use Webb to study planets and other bodies in our solar system to determine their origin and evolution and compare them with exoplanets, planets that orbit other stars. Webb will also observe exoplanets located in their star's habitable zones, the regions where a planet could harbor liquid water on its surface, and can determine if and where signatures of habitability may be present. If that's not huge news for you stargazers out there, I don't know what is. As NASA Administrator Bill Nelson said on the day of the launch, "The promise of Webb is not what we know we will discover. It's what we don't yet understand or can't yet fathom about our universe." Obviously, the Webb telescope will be an exciting thing to keep an eye on the foreseeable future. So you'd better believe we'll have our eyes peeled for whatever images it sends back. For more on the Webb, head over to nasa.gov, where you can track its movements on a daily basis. Thank you for watching the UFO Show, and I ask that if you enjoy our shows, subscribe to our channel right now, like this video, and click on the bell so you can be notified each time a new video goes up. Now back to the show. It seems as though every month or so, we hear the story of a former member of the military breaking his or her silence about an inexplicable encounter with a UAP or something else they couldn't understand. As the world leans more and more toward taking UAPs seriously, these people are finding the stigma of the secrets they've been holding on to isn't as harsh as it once was. The latest to come forward is Adrian Reister, a former nuclear weapons technician with the U.S. Air Force. Reister was stationed at the Whiteman Air Force Base in Missouri, home of the 509th Bomb Wing. As he explains it, he was allowed to maintain, dismantle, transport, and provide security for the sensitive nuclear arsenal that was housed at the base. Well versed in the many different kinds of aircrafts that would take off and land near the base, Reister was caught off guard on 2 occasions where he witnessed flying objects he couldn't comprehend. On the first occasion, a nuclear weapon was being transported within the installation, and Reister was on high alert. That's when he saw something rather unusual. In his words, "I noticed a light or orb hovering along the top of the tree line. I'd thought it was just a star at the time, but as I continued surveilling the area, the light orb shot above the treetops and hung there for some time. Maybe it was a satellite, I thought." As the transport team arrived and secured the weapon within the facility, the orb bounced a little in the sky, then shot to the left, then shot 90 degrees straight up and disappeared. On another occasion, Reister saw yet another orb hovering in the sky before quickly disappearing. He maintains that all of the orbs he saw were glowing, with yellowish tints to them, but even those 2 unusual events couldn't prepare Reister, or hell, anyone, for his next encounter with the unknown. One night, during the summer of 2006, Reister was working alone in a section of the base late at night, between 11 p.m. and 7 a.m., when he heard what sounded like bare feet padding nearby. He looked up and saw nothing, and went back to his work. Soon after, he heard it again, and went in the direction to investigate. Then he saw it. Reister says, "I saw what I can't really describe as other than a black mass in the shape of a person standing at 6 feet. Not really a shadow, but something that was slightly blurry and didn't reflect any light. It quickly turned the corner into the admin area of the shop, and I chased after it like a madman. As I ran down the length of the wall from the support section and into the admin area, I searched high and low. There's not really a lot of places to hide in that section, just a few offices and a break room. I'd been through in my search, but I still ended up empty-handed." This being a highly secure base, it's hard to imagine anyone being able to breach the perimeter without being noticed, let alone enter a space as highly guarded as the one Reister was in. For fear he'd be seen as some kind of nut, Reister did not report the incident to his higher-ups, an all-too common theme we've heard plenty of times before. While Reister doesn't seem prepared to put a label on who or what the shadowy figure was, he knows one thing is certain: it didn't belong there, and it should be taken very seriously. As he puts it, whether it's a person, a wolf, a rat, or a rabbit, no one besides authorized personnel should be anywhere near a base which stores nuclear weapons. The culture must change. If the USAF took a comprehensive approach, it would notice a pattern of similar occurrences at other bases, which should make senior officials take note. While the shadow person encounter is rather unique, Reister's accounts of strange orbs in the sky are keeping in the trend of unexplainable lights being seen over military installations and aircraft carriers over the years. One reason the subject has become a serious one for the Pentagon. While we know by now that their main concern is that these are aircrafts from a foreign adversary, there's still no telling for certain what any of these objects really are. Regardless, if they're from our planet or another way up there, they represent potentially frightening security concerns for all involved. And as we may have already assumed, we're probably not the only ones with security concerns, which is why these nuclear bases are such consistent targets for our visitors. If we're worried of what they're capable of, the feeling is probably more than mutual.
And so I asked this critter, "Who are you?" Because he clearly wanted to have sexual relations.
Every once in a while, we get a story that raises our eyebrows. Not always easy to do. Today's subject is a woman named Lily Nova, and she talks to extraterrestrials every single day. Your interest piqued, yes? Well, guess what? Turns out you too can talk to beings from another galaxy, whenever you want, since it turns out we're all related to aliens. Or something. Lily found out the truth about herself one night a few years ago. During the height of the pandemic, she had taken a sudden interest in astrophotography and regularly went outside her Missouri home to take photographs of the sky. And yes, you heard correctly, this is another story set in Missouri. One night, Lily saw what was a triangular object hovering over her house. She realized almost immediately that it was a UFO, and before she knew it, another one appeared just as suddenly. The UFO made some movements in the air before disappearing, startling enough, but this has become a regular occurrence for Lily, who is not only having close encounters with these UFOs, but communicating and interacting with them. Not just on a physical level, but a telepathic one. That's when she realized she was what's called a starseed, sort of an advanced soul who's connected to other galaxies and even dimensions. But we're all starseeds, it would seem, as Lily believes all things here and elsewhere are part of an intergalactic family of sorts. We just have to unlock the inner starseed within. No easy feat in these stressful times. If you need a push, Lily is able to describe what some of the aliens look like, and believe me, you'll want to see them. According to her, one of the first beings she saw was, quote, a girl with light blue skin. She had no hair, but she was very beautiful. She was wearing a skin-tight gray suit and brought shipmates along with her who wore the same uniform. Don't believe us? Take a look for yourselves. There are many different beings out there, so this is just a sneak peek at what's been hanging out among us this whole time. Now, if you want to have what Lily calls a profound contact experience, you'd better believe she's offering up her services. Nova will offer you a one-on-one tutorial which teaches you how to develop a meditative presence, which will help you achieve a higher state of awareness and make contact with your star families and galactic guides. If you want to start right away, check out Lily doing the Starseed Mantra and see if it works for you. Indeed, if you find your star families, please let us know in the comments section. We're trying our best to get on a higher plane around here, so we could use all the help we can get. Until next time, keep watching the skies and connecting with your inner starseeds.